How's it going, everyone? It's Bomberman down with Clan and Gaming, bringing you match number 3 of the best of 3 between AcerElfi and LiquidJinro. In that last very long game, we saw Jinro clutch his way to victory off of a single base, not really even doing much, but had the only mining base left in that game, thus bringing this series into its third match. What's interesting to think is this is a pretty hard-fought best-of-3, that last match, both players being very relentless, tenacious, if you will, really not giving up. So will we see a big all-in, one-base all-in, some big one-base cheese on this map? We do have cross spawns and Antigua, so not the closest spawns for that kind of base, but maybe a 4-gate proxy pylon, maybe a 2-racks early aggression, something of the sort. But really, Jinro may do his good methodical game where he just gets his natural and starts make production of SCVs and mules and really gets his economy going like he did last game, and obviously showed that he could do it well because he did end up winning that game with very good ghost harassment there, just keeping Elfi on his toes because there were just nukes going down everywhere, just a plethora of nukes. I hope I didn't just blow your ears out. Sorry guys, I don't have a pop filter on my mic because P sounds, they're a killer. But anyhow, as I was saying, Junior just being relentless with those nukes, tons of ghosts, tons of nukes, tons of explosions, just pure awesomeness. What we'd expect from an awesome Team Liquid player like Jinro, one of my favorite Terrans of all time. But enough about that. We do have Elfi going down for his, of course, standard build there. We have his Assimilator finishing up with his 3 current harvesters, so he will be able to do that nice stalker opening that he's done before. And what really is sort of interesting is what will happen after that. Let's more look at Jinro. Will he be going for that command center on 17 that he has gone for the last 2 games? And it looks like he will not be, unless it will be a little late, which will be fine if that is the case. But it looks like Jinro, I was looking at the wrong supply. Jinro will be going for his nice command center on 16, 17. So it looks like that will be a pretty standard game there by Jinro, doing the same exact opening all 3 games. No reason to change it when you've won 1 out of the 2, so it could happen again. And there we go, that nice same build there. The Stalker coming out, being chrono boosted, as well as the Warp Gate there being done at the exact same time. Now let's look at Elfi, see if he gets those gates down. Oh, sorry, touched my mic. If he gets those gates down and does that one-base play with that Robo, or he decides to, go for the Nexus. And it looks like this probe is going to tell us he's going to be going for the Nexus. There's the 400 minerals. And maybe we'll be thrown into another extremely late 46-minute game. I call that a late game if I've ever seen one. About as late as you could probably get on Daybreak, because bases were finished mining a lot. So Jinro here saturating his main and getting his natural down. And as I said before, Jinro's in this pretty good position because he decided to expand a bit earlier than Elfi. So his command center will be done with plenty of time so we can actually start mining. There's a little bit of an SCV transfer there, and so Jinro will start mining, a mule drop there. So Jinro in a pretty good position here, has a nice bunker here at the top of his ramp. Should probably put that marina there. There we go. So he's all good here. The Stalker's going to poke forward here, but the bunker is of course going to thwart the plans of that. And Elfi's going to say, you know what, now how are we going to respond to that? A Robo facility. Interesting. We saw last game Elfi did not go for a Robo very remotely quickly at all. Actually got a 3rd before he even went Robo. So this Robo is going to say, well, instead of going Templars, will he go with Colossus? Oh! And he saw the SCV, saw it. We'll be canceling it, and we'll be going with a ton of gates. Tricky mind games there for Elfi. Will he actually work against Jinro? Because Jinro's like, okay, I see the Robo. Maybe some Immortals. Maybe early Colossus. Who knows? Maybe even Warp Prism. Because we saw it in the first game. So Jinro's going to say, alright, here, let's do this. And we actually have a tech lab going, or a tech lab on a factory. This is pretty important. This is what we would call a 1-1-1. So Jinro's going to be going for a 1-1-1. Changing it up quite a bit here, and it could be a killer, especially for Cloaked Banshees. Because Cloaked Banshees are really going to destroy Elfi here. Because we see Elfi on 4-gate but a really nasty 4-gate push here could actually just destroy Jinro if he's not ready for it. So, sort of an interesting there. We do have the Tech Lab going over the Starport as well as the Tech Lab on the factory, so we will in fact see Banshees from this 1-1-1. And it looks like there will be a push here of Sentries, as well as there will be some sort of big push here by Elfi, a big 4-gate push. It won't be an all-in per se, because we do have this base mining. And this is where it starts to get very tricky, because if Jinro can't hold it, the game ends. Elfi will win, and that will be that. But if Jinro can hold, get Cloak Banshees, as we can see has going out, get a Siege Tank with Siege Tech, and hold this bunker, it might be in a good position here. Now, Jinro inadvertently had made these supply depots here. Will not let a full Zello wall off here. And will we see SEVs being pulled to try to stop this bunker? We will see the 2 force fields going down there to stop the repair on the bunker. But a good response there by Jinro, getting his units out of there. He needs to get this tank to the high ground so that he can actually do damage with it. But this Banshee with Cloak will be able to do tons of damage here to this army, because this army does not have any detection. And it looks like Jinro's going to pick up his natural and move it to try to save this command center. Siege Tech is not done yet, and so the Siege Tank will not be doing as much damage as it could be. It can still do a ton of damage against these Stalkers, as we can see. We do have SEVs being pulled here, Marines over here trying to do damage. We do have SEVs being pulled at the bottom here. The Siege Tank on the top, the Banshee here doing a lot of damage here, and it looks like Jinro will be able to clean this up rather well. The Siege Tank will it be sniped out here. The Banshee's going to actually be sniped instead. The Siege Tank is going to make it to the high ground, and the Marines are going to be doing some damage here. Another Banshee pops out there that was actually being made there. Even though the Tech Lab was picked off, the Banshee was still made. And it looks like Jinro might be actually holding this. If the Siege Tank gets into siege position, and will do extra damage there, and not in siege position, but it goes into siege position here. The Marines moving forward. A huge hit there by the Siege Tanks. It looks like he will be losing a lot of these units here. The Zealots will be falling. Some good play there. Good movement there by the Marines, not losing any of them there. 2 extra damage. And it looks like Jinro will hold on to this. But did lose a lot. We do have 2 Siege Tanks here that should be able to thwart any of Elfi's plans here, but Elfi deciding to go for that Robo and a Twilight Council there. Maybe Immortals here to combat the Siege Tanks. Twilight Council to get Blink. Maybe to get Zealots with Charge to get in on those Siege Tanks to make them do damage to friendly units, and to destroy the Siege Tanks very quickly and not take a lot of damage here. We see Jinro repairing a Banshee here, trying to make sure it can do as much as it can. I guess Cloaking Field was cancelled during that. Actually, it was sniped on the Tech Lab. I'm sorry, it wasn't cancelled. So the Tech Lab is going to be researching Cloaking Field. So we will be able to get that Banshee into position here. Again, the robotics facility is done, and an observer will be popping out, going towards Jinro's base, but that's not where it needs to be. It needs to be at home, because this Banshee could be doing a ton of damage here. We see Elfi going for his 3rd base, deciding this is a good time to get my 3rd. And we'll say I have done enough damage here. I'm going to fall back and take my 3rd. And he thinks he can defend it easily. Let's go with our units. Oh, sorry about that. And Jinro did not actually lose that many more units than Elfi there. A big push there by Elfi, and was actually thwarted there. A lot of SEVs were killed, but SEVs don't make up too much. As we can see, 17 units lost to 38. But only like 200 supply there. Exactly 200 supply, actually. So, really, Jinro not in the worst position he could have been. He saved his command center, which was the big thing. If he lost it, it could have been pretty much game there. This Banshee going to be able to come in here and do a lot of damage, just sniping probes. Is all it's going to do. He could be going for sentries here, but it looks like sentries won't be too important here. Probes going down, and it looks like he will actually get quite a few there, but it looks like the Banshee will be going down. And let's go to workers killed. Jinro actually has lost 23 workers there, 35 total. So as we can see during that push, it was really just workers that that Elfi had killed. Not that much, and there is actually going to be somewhat of a hit somewhere that I lost. Sorry, this Banshee was sniping probes there, so giving Jinro a little bit of an edge there, stopping mining, and actually letting Jinro get back on his feet here, as we see 88 supply to 74. So Jinro not really in the worst position, has a lot of Marines, a lot of Siege Tanks, has a command center right over here that he can float over to his 30 if he wants to. So Jinro by any means not out of the game at all, should be just fine. We do have a Raven on the way. Very interesting. We don't see Ravens all that often unless it's against, you know, a big Broodlord Corruptor in a TVEZ. For those Seeker missiles to do a ton of damage there. A point defense drone could be used to absorb a lot of damage here by the Stalkers, because we did see a good amount of Stalkers here. But you know, could be something else. We did see the Twilight Council, and we did see a Templar Archives here, and we will be going for Psionic Storm. So it will be like that last game here, where Elfi is going to favor gateway units over robotics facility units. And it could be important here because these Templars could feed back these Banshees, so kind of do a lot of damage here. But I like how Jinro is staying very active with these Banshees, just trying to keep Elfi on his toes, forcing Warpins here. It looks like there might be a feedback. The feedback can't, of course, happen unless he can see the unit. So Jinro just doing a lot of damage here, trying to maybe snipe some Templar or two. And it looks like he will get that Banshee away here. So he's in a pretty good position here. Jinro, go to the army supply here, is actually still in a very good position. Basically has a the same size army. Protoss, of course, is going to be always more gas heavy than any other race. So seeing the extra gas here doesn't mean too much because units, of course, are expensive. So Jinro still in a good position after that hit. Really can try to go for his third here, and it looks like he will be doing just that if he can move a nice siege line forward. We do see the 2 bunkers here, some siege tanks over here. He will be able to secure this third very easily. We do see a bunker up here, just in case he tries to walk through, and we'll always have to watch out for that destructible debris there. That could be taken out, and a quick road to his third would be open. So Jinro always staying on edge there. And I like how Jinro's like, alright, well, just going to try to play cautiously, defensively, and get some units here that I can defend with. Was pushing with these Cloaked Banshees, doing damage, knows what Elfi has, knows whether or not he can take it. These Zealots with charge could do a lot here. Actually, do they have charge? They don't have charge, so it looks like charge was canceled. Or, sorry, charge might not have been canceled, might not have been researched at all. Just a theory to get in on these siege tanks. And really, they might take a lot of damage here, but it looks like they could be going for this destructible debris. But it looks like they will not be. And the siege tanks are already here. The bunkers are down. So this could be a lot of problems here for Elfi. There's going to be a big push here. The siege tanks are going to be doing some big storms going down here. But these bunkers are going to be doing a lot of damage here. Jinro not looking to be in the best position here. There's a ton of Zealots here, but he does get behind his nice supply depot wall. Is going to take a lot of Zealots out there, but more Zealots here, a ton of Stalkers here. Is going to have to lift up his third, and this might be it for Jinro, because Elfi is just being ever so relentless, killing all the SCVs and mules from that third base. And Elfi, is he going to continue to attack, or is he going to fall back? And looks like Elfi is going to decide to fall back, maybe refresh here, reinforce here with units, and it looks like Jinro's going to see what he's got to deal with here. He's actually going to do some damage. Back at Elfi's front, we do see Zealots with charge, realizing, you know, that is a good idea to try to get in on those siege tanks. We do have a robotics facility here, and another being made, as well as a robotics bay. So it looks like we will be going with some Colossus tech, because I bet Elfi thinks that Jinro will, of course, respond with Reactor Starport to make Vikings. But there are no Vikings out yet, and there are none on the way. This Raven does not have Seeker Missile. It can just use Point Defense Drone here, as well as be an observer here, for maybe, I guess, if you potentially thought there would be DTs on the way, or observers, so maybe he wants to snipe those observers to get Cloaked Banshees to work, but it's not like Jinro is actually making Cloaked Banshees anymore. So Jinro, not entirely in the best position here. Actually, units lost is of course favoring Jinro slightly, but again, if we look at the battlefield, we have a third barely mining, while Elfi has a third fully saturated, and has had a third fully saturated for a long while. And army supply is favoring Elfi again, 166 to 129. In terms of minerals, they're about the same, but of course there's a ton more gas there for Elfi, because of course Protoss is again a lot gas heavier. So Jinro just trying to set up camp again, trying to just stay kind of afloat. It looks like Elfi's going to be going for an expansion here. Not to be confused with the latter Antigua shipyard. There is no high yield minerals here. So just to sort of even out the map a little in terms of win ratio for races. So they decided to move out the high yield gold minerals and go with a regular blue here. And it looks like Elfi has a very killer unit composition here. 2 Colossus, a ton of Zealots with charge, some Stalkers, some High Templars, some Archons, and this could be a lot of trouble here for Jinro. Because going back to the army supply value, it did actually supply, actually it is still pretty equal here, but it's 192 to 151. I don't know what can really happen here, and it looks like AcerElfi is going to push forward into the 3rd here. The siege tanks aren't actually in existence, sorry. And it looks like they're actually going to fall back. So, Elfi deciding he doesn't want any of it. He's going to let Jinro stay in the game for a little bit longer here. I'm not sure if Jinro really could have done much there to win that. But it looks like there's going to be a lot of Vikings on the way, but there's only 2 Colossus here for Jinro. There is another Colossus, sorry. Actually 2, so there will be 4 Colossus total for Elfi against Jinro. So it's 200 supply to 166. And Jinro, sort of in a rough position here. Just trying to survive off a 3 base here. It's actually just trying to wall off here. It looks like this command center will probably be turned into a planetary fortress. Just trying to keep his 3rd up and running. But it is a 4-base Protoss to a 3-base Terran, so it is never good for the Terran in this situation because they should pretty much always be on semi-equal bases here. It's okay if one has just gotten up a base before the other, because really they can both pull some pretty good plays there from either way. But Jinro being an entire base behind the Protoss player, sort of kind of a bad thing there. Units lost actually favoring Jinro only by 200 supply, so still could be a little bit worse, but it looks like Jinro will be allowed to get a 200 supply army and be able to move out. His 3rd is basically saturated, and it looks like it is going to be an MMM ball with some Vikings and some Ghosts, sorry. A lot of Ghosts actually against Jinro or Elfi. And Elfi deciding to put cannons at the top of this ramp because I guess he can, deciding he's got nothing else to spend his money on. And looks like the siege tank's going to siege up here to do all the damage it really can. Maybe a scan go down here, hit there. And it looks like there will be a big push down here by Elfi, but engaging on the ramp might be bad. And Archon was sniped there as well as almost a Colossus. So Jinro kind of getting a better end of that trade. It looks like Elfi will come around to sort of attack there, but will be immediately attacked here as soon as it gets there. And there's the big attack there. It looks like there will be a fallback there. The Zealot's going to try to go around here and get us around. It looks like the Vikings will try to snipe the Colossus. We do have EMPs and Storms going down for both players. And it looks like Elfi is going to keep pushing forward here. A big storm there in the middle of Jinro's entire army. And it looks like Jinro might actually lose that. He's going to drop his Vikings here because he knows he's going to need them. A big reinforcement here there. But it looks like it might be some problems here for Jinro. Some big reinforcements there by Elfi. And I think that is GG for Jinro. So Elfi wins this best of 3 between Jinro at the Asus Republic of Gamer Winter Tournament there. So good game there by Elfi. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all next time.